Welcome back to Retirement Unplugged, where I get to talk to Wayne and Christine here about some of the things that, well, really, I should just say, not that I've been doing, that we've been doing
That's right.
this past week, right?
Past 2 weeks.
Yeah, past 2 weeks. We skipped a week there just because we had some things going on, right?
Yeah, and it's the holiday.
Yep. A big holiday. So what did we do last week? We went to the lake, right?
Yeah.
Went and spent some time. They had the old damn tie up or the palooza or whatever it is you want to call it.
Damn Palooza.
Yeah, the damn palooza, which was a pretty good time.
Yeah.
I had a good time. It was pretty laid back. There was a lot of boats and stuff, right?
Yeah, and they had a band.
Yep, had a band playing. Man, they wheeled in this big old boat and kind of pulled it in there and set up a band on top, and all the boats tied up there close. But we didn't. We kind of stayed on the outer edge.
Right. They had a house. They were on top of a houseboat.
Right. Which we stayed on the outer edge just because it's easy in, easy out when you're ready.
Yeah.
Because the past few years we've tied up, and then you got to kind of break out of the line of folks, untie and help everybody get tied back up. So
Yeah.
I thought it was easy the way we did it this year.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah. It was a good time. There wasn't any problems, and everybody acts right. And I don't know. It was pretty laid back.
Yeah.
That's what I like about going down there.
Mm-hmm.
Even when there's events and things like that, it's almost like you go to a place like we go to the Tiki Hut and hang out. There's a lot of people, right? And there's never any problems.
No, nobody gets out of hand, or there's no police there, and it's not like nobody's fighting.
Yeah, it's like everybody stays in control of what they're doing, and all that good stuff. I mean, now that the cops do come through, the water patrol comes through the tie up, but I guess there was no trouble. But anyways, it was pretty laid back.
Well, and I think that lake is very family oriented.
Think so?
Because there's always a lot of kids and families at the tiki, and riding in boats and things like that. So I think it's very family oriented.
Yeah, maybe so. I was talking to somebody the other day. I believe it was at the gym. Him and his family went to Smith Lake for the 4th, and said he didn't even get out on the water because it was so busy.
Yeah.
And I said, man, we used to be there. It was dangerous to be out there on the holidays, let alone just a normal weekend, but on the holidays.
Yeah. We didn't get our boats out either.
I know. I remember. I was thinking about that. And I think that's what I told him. I said, man, when we were there, we wouldn't even get out on the water just because of all the craziness going on.
Right.
People don't know how to act. They don't. It's like their first time they operated a boat or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, so we're on Logan Martin now, and it's a little more laid back. And, we really like that.
Yeah.
Less boat traffic too.
That's right.
But I will say I saw. I don't know if it's on somebody posted it on Facebook or something. I guess where that very next day when we were down with, I think the tie up was like on a Saturday. The next day that boat got struck by lightning.
Right.
You see that? Which nobody got hurt from what I read.
Right.
Of course they were taken to the hospital for checkups or whatever, but very fortunate nobody got hurt. But what's odd to me is all of a sudden that happens, and then I heard about another boat on Smith Lake, on fire, and then another boat on some other big lake in this area. It may have been up in Tennessee that there was a boat fire. And it's like, man, it's like one happens and then it's like a domino effect.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was like I told you, we didn't used to have social media. So I think maybe we were just sheltered or unaware of everything that does happen because Facebook does put so much out there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you want to know something, whether it's true or not true, just look at Facebook.
Just go to Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, it was a great time. And I guess we came home for a few days and then we left out again. Right? I had never, we went to Blue Ridge, Georgia, which I have never been there.
Right. I had never been there either.
Yeah, so we went with my brother and his wife from Florida. They came up and met us, and man, we had a great time. It's funny though, we're over there and we went whitewater rafting, and that was pretty entertaining in itself.
Yes, it was.
But anyways, as we were riding up through those mountains, I told my brother, it's like, man, it almost feels like I'm in Colorado.
Yeah.
because of it was the Ocoee, and you're riding beside it and you can see the rapids, and then you got all the mountains and all that stuff. Man, it's beautiful, beautiful country. And it was a neat little town too.
Yeah. It wasn't very touristy. It didn't seem like as compared to when we went to Helen, Georgia, or when we've been to Gatlinburg. Gatlinburg's just gotten out of hand.
Oh yeah.
There's way too many people.
Yeah, I agree. Gatlinburg has just gotten to where, I don't know, it's shoulder to shoulder people.
Hmm.
Restaurants are packed and you can't really go anywhere. I mean, you can go somewhere. I don't mean that, but it's like you can't go anywhere that's not packed.
Yeah.
And that's not my thing.
Because we grew up going there, and because the mother loves the mountains. And I can remember she could tell us, hey, y'all can go here, walk all this stuff, and you didn't have to worry about anything. And they could just send us, and we'd go walk into the shops and go get us an airbrush T-shirt and go to the wax museum and things like that that they didn't really want to do with us, and we would just go by ourselves. And I can remember even doing the lift up on the mountain with one of my best friends. Like we went up there by ourselves. Now you could not even come close to doing something like that there.
I would not.
It is shoulder to shoulder people.
Yeah, I wouldn't turn my kids loose by themselves there. I
Yeah.
mean, not little kids. I mean, like
Yeah.
what age are you talking about?
I mean, we were probably 13, 12, 13. Yeah.
No dice.
Yeah. I know I wasn't driving. So,
Yeah, no dice. I wouldn't turn my kids loose at that age with all the craziness going on.
yeah.
You know, I'd be worried to death, even though it's not a town that's like a party town.
Right.
I would still be worried that my kids are, getting into
Yeah.
something or somebody's bothering them.
Yeah. Now, when we were little and went, like, they were always with us. But, when we got older, they let us do things by ourselves. And it just, I don't know, it's just changed so much.
Yeah, yeah. But you're right. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Blue Ridge is a little bit touristy, you know? I mean, because I saw a bunch of different plates on vehicles from all over.
Yeah.
But I don't even think it's as bad as when we went to Helen, Georgia.
Yeah. No, Helen is getting there.
Yeah, Helen was set up like a Bavarian,
Germantown. Yeah.
yeah, Bavarian German town, and it was like based around drinking and staying out, and having
Hmm.
a good time, blah blah blah, all that good stuff.
And it seemed like all the restaurants and places we went there, that's what the setup was, Whereas Helen, it reminded me of like downtown Coleman. You could walk the streets and you had boutiques and everything. Every store was not like another one.
Yeah, you said like Helen, but you meant like Blue.
I mean, like Blue Ridge. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I agree. Blue Ridge was more of, you could take a train ride. They have train rides in
Hmm.
the middle of town. You could do a lot of stuff. But one day we went whitewater rafting, and we had a great guide. He was pretty entertaining himself.
Caveman.
Yeah, yeah, caveman. But he was a nice guy. And we were just the four of us in the boat, which was nice because I've been before and the boat's full.
Hmm.
But anyways, I don't know, I don't understand it, but he put myself and my brother in the front, and dude, it was like all the weights in the front. I mean, he's 6'4" and I'm 6'3", and those boats, the front's shaped like in a point.
Yeah.
I had zero room, you know.
Yeah.
Of course, since I had zero room, I had all the excuses in the world as why I was the first one to fall out. And I don't even think it was a bad spot either.
I don't. I don't even think it was a level 3. I think we were just cruising and all that weight went down for some reason.
Yeah,
And
I think it was a level 0.5. You know what I'm saying?
all I know is we were like, how did that just happen?
Yeah, but what's crazy is I fell out, and they make you wear helmets and of course life jackets and all that good stuff. But I actually hit my head on a rock, and then I came up. When I was trying to come up, I was underneath the boat. Which, I mean, it didn't scare me. I knew, I had enough sense what I needed or what I felt like I needed to do.
Yeah.
I got out from under there, and it wasn't a big deal. But
Well, it scared us because we couldn't find you. We were like, where's Dad? Where's Dad? And then I reached down and grabbed your vest.
yeah, there I was stuck under the boat. But no, it was a good time. I felt sorry for Caveman trying to pull me.
Ooh, it took all 4 of us.
Yeah, pull me back in the boat. But it was a good time. And then, of course, everybody was giving me a hard time. And unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to say it,
Karma strikes.
yeah, karma strikes. We hit a rapid, and all three of the others fell out. Everybody but me.
But that was a level 4.
Whatever. That was a level 0.75.
It was a level 4 rapid. So we had a good excuse. Plus, we got hit from the side from another raft. So that's what actually flipped us. It wasn't the rapid, I don't think, but the boat did.
Okay. Well, that doesn't matter. It doesn't
Or
matter
not
to
the
me.
boat, but the raft.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me. All I know is you all three went out. But I think, we were talking about, I think it was his goal is to make us all fall out.
Oh, yeah, because that other guide, that's what she said. She said, you made the swim team. So,
Oh, yeah, she
yeah.
did say that. So, yeah, we were all part of the Olympic swim team coming
Hmm.
out of that. But it was a great time. I really enjoyed it. It made for a good day.
And that water was so cold.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't have asked for any better weather.
Oh, yeah. We had great weather the whole time.
Oh, yeah. So, but, and we got to eat some good food, man. They have some really good restaurants
Hmm.
and, like, I would say some of it was like dishes that you wouldn't normally order, or we don't normally go to places like that to get that kind of food.
Well, and a lot of it has to do with how they played it. Like, you might have gotten a bacon cheeseburger, but it was plated so well and it had the little drippings of sauce on, little dots and swirls and everything. It's how they plated and presented everything to you that made it, fancy.
So what you're telling me is if five guys would dress their plate up, and
They could charge $25 for a hamburger.
yeah, they do charge 25, but it's good. But no, I mean it was great food, and
Yeah.
like I said, we had a great time. We tried to go up and watch the fireworks. They were having the fireworks over the lake, and I'll say we went out and ate lunch at that lake, Blue Ridge Lake, I
Hmm.
guess is what it's
Hmm.
called. Man, beautiful water.
Yeah.
We went out and fed the fish and all that stuff at the marina, and the water was super clear.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost like Smith Lake here.
Hmm.
That's how clear it was,
Yeah.
which it was beautiful. And but we had lunch out there one day, and I thought it was just typical marina or whatever the restaurant is at the
Yeah.
marina there food. But I enjoyed
It was
it.
good. Hmm.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, man. But like I said, it was a great weekend.
It was.
So we got some other stuff coming up to do with the kids,
Yeah.
and we'll see how that goes. But all in all, man, this past week or so, I've been busy.
Yeah. As soon as we got home, what do you think he did?
Man, I tell you,
He
I
had
pulled
to.
in and I mowed right before I left. I'm talking about the day before.
Hmm.
We were going how many days?
We were gone 5 days.
And I roll in and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to bail this yard. It took me. I started on it yesterday and finished it today.
Yeah.
So I tell you, man, I'm getting tired of keeping up with that. I'm gonna have to hire some goats.
Oh, I would love some goats.
I should have seen that. 'Cause it wasn't
Goats.
chicken.
No, I still want the chickens.
She wants chickens, and now she wants goats in the front yard.
That would be awesome.
But everything that she mentions is everything that I have to take care of.
No, you would not have to take care of the chickens. I could do it. I could do it. You just have to get me a gun where I can shoot the snakes.
That would be my biggest fear. Reaching in there to get an egg, and there's a Mr. Snake in there.
Or give me one of those snake handling rods. That way I can just get it out, and then when I get it out, I'll shoot it.
Oh my gosh, that sounds kind of scary in itself.
I think that would be exciting.
Maybe. I mean, if I video it could be real exciting, right?
You get a lot of views.
Yeah, exactly. But what else we do? We got all your school stuff finally moved.
Yeah, classroom is set up. I just have to do a bulletin board. That's all I got left to do, and just do some outside cleanup.
Yeah. And so we got all that knocked out. So you're ready to just kind of walk in the door on August 1st, right?
Yeah.
You start.
Hmm.
What else? You also, speaking of school, she passed a big test, right?
Yeah, it's like I compare it to like a nursing board. If you're getting your master's in nursing, you have to pass your boards and stuff. They call it a praxis in education. And I was supposed to have taken it last year, but Daddy passed away the day after, or the day I was supposed to take the test the day after he passed away. So I took it the 30th and I passed.
Man, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I have to keep telling her, hey, keep going, girl. Daddy needs to get paid. No, I'm just kidding. But
So
no, I'm
yeah.
proud for you, man. Yeah, well, you said it was like a 3 hour test and somebody's watching.
Yeah, it's like well, it's proctored on the computer, but there is somebody, it's a big room, and then there's somebody outside the glass window that's watching, that has like a monitor set up where they can see everybody taking the test. It was, I think, 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Wow. I mean, to me, that's crazy. I mean, I'm under enough pressure taking a test. I haven't taken the test, since what 1996. That was just to get me out of college.
Yeah,
But I can't imagine somebody sitting at a window watching me take a test.
yeah,
I mean, I'd be sweating bullets.
yeah.
But knowing I couldn't pull out that cheat sheet, no, I'm just kidding. You probably can't cheat on something like that.
No, you have to take everything. Like you can't have your watch, you can't have bracelets, you can't have anything on. And like they had to inspect my glasses, and you can't wear a hat in there. I mean, everything goes in a locker, and you get to take that key with you.
Very structured.
Very structured. Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good. Keep you honest.
Yeah. So now I can be admin.
That's what I'm talking about. Need to keep working in that direction, girl. Doing a fine job.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. But so yeah, we've both been pretty busy in the last couple of weeks since summer school was over.
Yeah.
And summer school to me felt like it went by pretty quick.
It went by very fast.
You used to tell me like, man, you're doing summer school. It's going to take away from the lake, or it's going to take away from this. But it really, honestly, this time it felt like it didn't last but a 1 week.
Yeah. It was 10 days.
Yeah, so that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. But maybe you won't have to do that in the future, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have to do it now. I choose to do it.
Yeah, but with this job you got, maybe you won't. I
Yeah.
don't know if you have opportunity. I don't know how
Yeah,
that works.
I do. So it'll just be a choice.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
We what else we do last week? I remember something we did. You asked me to. You remember?
Oh, we went and got a pedicure.
Got me another one of them pedicures, but I went in incognito this time.
But they didn't use the cheese grater on you this time. It was bad last time. Look at mozzarella cheese coming off his foot.
That's right. Nobody wants to hear about that. That was in Florida, anyways. That wasn't here.
I know, but Yolanda and Mark had to suffer seeing it.
Yeah, yeah. So did that girl next to me.
Well, the girl doing it.
True. She's getting paid to do it. So what?
It was like a block of cheese had been grated onto that towel.
I mean, do you got to go into detail?
Yeah, that's what makes it good.
What's funny to me is the woman. I looked over at the woman sitting next to me on the other side. The look on her face.
Oh my gosh.
She was like, "You're such a guy." And I looked at her and I said, "Girl," I said, "I see them doing your feet too." I said, "Don't try to hide." I said, "Your feet's probably worse than mine." I didn't know who she was. I was just messing with her, but yeah, it wasn't good. But yeah, I went and got a petty. But this time I walked in with my sunglasses on, so nobody knew who I was.
Yeah, but she knew who you were.
Yeah,
She called you out.
yeah. As soon as I walked in, she's like, "Oh, have you been to the gym today?" Man, she recognized me.
Yeah, because anytime I go in there without you, she goes, "Where's your husband?" And I was like, "He's not here. He at the gym?" No.
Super, yes, super nice.
She's great.
Yeah, super nice. But that was fun. Got to get old Petty done before I go to the beach.
Yeah, we got to get all ready.
My feet's got to look good before you go to the beach.
That's right.
Yeah. So anyhow, but what else we have? Nothing really other than that exciting that I can think of. Right?
No.
4th of July in the mountains, and we didn't even get to see the fireworks.
We could see him a little bit over the treetops.
Yeah, it wasn't not much.
But it wasn't enough to say that I saw fireworks. I was okay with it.
Yeah, I'm the same. It's funny, I like fireworks. I used to love shooting off fireworks for the kids, all that good stuff. But and I didn't really get to see them this time, and I really didn't pay that much attention, and that wasn't a big deal,
Right. Yeah.
Whereas sometimes I'm like, oh wow, ooh ah, all that good stuff. But it didn't even bother me this time. I didn't get to see them.
Well, I think that it's like now that we've seen them on the lake from the boat and our view that we have down there, it's like nothing can compare to that now.
Man, you're 100%.
So it's like, okay, there's just some fireworks.
Yeah, I'm telling you, if you've never had a chance to be on the water with all, and be up close to all the fireworks going off, with the reflection off of the water and looking at all the boats with their lights on, you know, it's just a different. It is a different view.
Yeah.
And it is very nice. Like we would, every year down at the lake, we would drive down there in the dark,
Mm-hmm.
all with all the other boats, just kind of easing down that way,
Yeah.
and then anchor off and just sit and enjoy all the lights or all the fireworks. Man, it's awesome.
Yeah, we're not too close.
No, 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 not too
It's not
close.
like the stuff's falling on us or
I
anything.
know. I mean, but you can see ground
Oh,
level up,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, it's awesome, dude. It's great. But typically when we go down there, there's the Lincoln Landing puts one on, or the city of Lincoln or whatever. Then there's a guy right there by I-20.
Riverside. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in Riverside that does one, and it's at his house that's just as good as Lincoln Landing.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like you get a double whammy. You pull down there and watch Lincoln's, and then as soon as you come back around the curve,
He start.
and you watch his.
Yeah.
Dude, it's big.
And supposedly Lincoln asked him not to do them this year,
Yeah, I wonder what happened on that.
but he lives in Riverside, so I don't know how much say they have over that. Because I mean, and plus it's a private residence, so
Yeah, true. Yeah, I don't know either. I guess we need to ask some folks and see what happened.
yeah,
Maybe ask our neighbors because I'm sure they went. But
right.
anyways, yeah, I'd be anxious to know that. I forgot about that. I remember you telling me. But anyways, yeah, if you've never seen that from the water, man, you need to do that.
Yeah,
It's great.
it's
But, yeah.
good.
So fireworks don't excite me like they used to.
I still like them.
Oh yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I still like them. But anyways, got to visit with my brother and his wife and see them. We don't get to see them that often since they live down in Tampa, and we don't get to see them as often, as we would like. So they travel a lot themselves. But anyways, I don't think I've seen him since was he home
No.
last Christmas?
No, it was November when we went to Anna Maria Island.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot we went down there
Mm-hmm.
for my oldest brother's 60th, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's right. We all got together. I forgot about that. Good times had by all.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, so everything was good. But that's about all we had going on.
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting on the porch at the cabin, and you weren't out there. My brother and I was talking. We were talking about retirement.
Mm-hmm.
We don't talk on here. We don't talk a lot about actual retirement. We just kind of talk about, what is it that I'm doing, what we're doing, or, what we got lined up, or how things went, all that good thing, all those good things. But he and I were sitting there, and he's a couple years older than me, and we were talking about retirement, and it's something my parents never ever talked to me about.
Yeah.
And when I say didn't talk to, I'm talking about like how you plan for retirement, how you get ready for that. What should you be doing today?
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to work for a company that actually, puts you through Dave Ramsey courses. And where when new people come in, they have orientation to where, they talk about finances. There's courses that they can take within the company, things like that.
Right.
That I want to say prepare you, not fully prepare you. I sit there and say that there's a company that they do business with. It's called Calm Water.
Mm-hmm.
That they're financial people, and you can set up times with them to make sure your 401k, your retirement things that you're investing in, or what you should be doing. So, and we were sitting there talking, and I was like, how many people are really ready for that?
Right.
Because I look around the world, I say around the world, around here, and I see people that I don't know that they're ready, or, they don't work the type of jobs that provide that kind of 401ks or, whether you make enough money to invest or things like that. What happens?
Right.
What happens to those folks when it's time to retire?
Yeah.
So, I encourage, like myself, I talk to kids about it. I talk to the kids, and I talk about 401ks, and all anything that's available
Right.
that they could get into. Do I talk to them extensively about it? No, I don't. Maybe I should, or I probably don't know enough about it.
Well, and I think that, they're just like any other kids that are their age. They can only take small doses of it because they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But the fact that you're actually just putting it out there, and, you always say, if you've got any questions, call me, and we'll figure this out or something like that. That helps because, like you said, you didn't have anybody even put that bug in your ear or for you to even think about it, but you do that with them. So at least, they've got an idea. But for the most part, I think that, they work with companies that do go through all that, just like you said with Nucor. They go through all that. And I know in the education department, it's like your last 5 years, they start inviting you to all these retirement, you know, d- meetings you can go to, and they kind of give you an idea of, they'll look up your stuff and they'll give you an idea of, hey, this is what your check's going to look like if you get out at this age, or this is what it's going to look like if you stayed on this age, things like that. But I haven't been to one yet.
Yeah. What's funny is most of what I've learned about my retirement through the years has been with guys that were older than me, like that I worked with,
Mm-hmm.
that were starting to go through it or starting to learn more about it themselves.
Right.
And it's funny how much people talk about retirement that you don't realize in a plant, in a plant like where I work,
Mm-hmm.
because you've got guys that are 19 years old and you got guys that are 60 years old,
Right.
that are close enough to retirement that they're like, hey man, are you doing this? Are you doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Or, what's your 401k looking like? Are you on the right track? Are you investing in this or that? And most of everything I learned was from those people,
Right.
which is very, very beneficial,
Mm-hmm.
because like I said, that's something my mother or my dad, neither one. So I encourage people, to get out and at least mention it to your kids,
Yeah.
you know, now, and just like you said, those things with kids going one ear and out the other. But I'm going to tell you something I've learned as being, or when I was a supervisor, was you never ever know what somebody grabs a hold of.
Mm-hmm.
When I say that, I'm talking about information.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can talk to somebody about something, and it may not have, you may not have got anything about out of it,
Mm-hmm.
but the person sitting next to you may have gotten a lot out of it.
That's right.
So you never know. So it's just one of those things where, like maybe what you just said a second ago is you're throwing out those bits and pieces for your children to let them know that there's some thought that needs to be
Mm-hmm.
put into this,
Right.
because I just think the opportunities for kids today, right now, to make money and to be able
Oh, yeah.
to be able to prepare themselves for it.
And be self-sufficient. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's out there, you know,
It is.
especially, there's a lot of trades and things these kids could get into right now and make some big money and just
Mm-hmm.
really set themselves up to retire at a younger age than what they ever
Yeah.
think they would or could.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, we were talking about that sitting on the porch, and, I'm just always like, I'm one of those, I'm a people watcher,
Mm-hmm.
when we go somewhere, like even when we went downtown, and you know how it is when you go downtown and you go shopping and women walk into a boutique. What do you men do? Sit down on the bench and wait. So I'm a people watcher.
But you did do a little bit of shopping.
A little bit, bought me something.
Yeah.
But anyways, I watch, and sometimes I'm thinking, I'm thinking about the things that I'm going through and wondering if people are ready for what they're going to go through,
Right.
which is none of my business. It's not like I'm getting in their business. It's just something I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
It's like sitting in the airport watching people and you're guessing what they're about,
Where they're from.
where they're
Yeah.
from.
What they do.
Exactly. Same thing.
But see, since I'm not in that retirement realm, I don't even think about it.
Do you not?
No, I don't.
See, that's kind of crazy to me, because I am in that world,
Mm-hmm.
and you hear me talking about it, or I'm going through it. To me, it seems like I would think you would think about it.
No, because I know that I'm putting my time and my money into investment, and I know that, I'm going to be okay, where I think I'm going to be okay. But it's like, I don't know, it hasn't hit me Even though you're retired, it hasn't hit me. Maybe my last 3 years or whatever, I'll be more. But at this moment, I don't.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good. I mean, everybody goes about it different. I can remember talking to some guys that were really close to retirement that were scared.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wow, scared? That seems weird to me
Yeah.
because I never was scared about what was happening. Now, was I curious or did I think about it or did I seek out some advice from financial folks? Yeah, I did.
Mm-hmm.
But I did that so that I wouldn't be scared about it.
Right.
Before I ever left, I talked to folks.
Yeah.
When I say folks, I'm talking about people that know about retirement or about finances,
Yeah.
an actual company.
An advisor. Yeah.
Yeah, an advisor. That's right, an advisor.
Mm-hmm.
Just to go, hey, what does this look like? Can I do it?
I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So the being scared part, I was always like, wow, I mean, surely most people do their due diligence before they get out.
Well, I would hope so. I would hope that would be maybe part of an exit program, you would think.
No.
I know. But that's a great idea though, that these companies should do that.
I said the same thing when I left. Because when I left, nobody talked to me about anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I said the exact same thing. I said, man, this would be a perfect opportunity for, and I'll just use Nucor as an example since that's where I work, for Nucor to pull those people in that they know that are close or that, that have already turned in their notice and say, okay, here's the things that you have to have lined up.
Mm-hmm.
Because, when your insurance changes and when it stops, when you're gone, it's done.
Right.
So all these things that they know that could potentially happen, life insurance, your regular insurance, what does your 401k look like? Is it sustainable? Mm-hmm. Right? All these things.
Yeah, because you didn't know about your life insurance.
Yeah, exactly.
You thought you had some.
I mean, that's exactly right. So, it'd be a great tool for the company to go, all right, this is a list of things that you need to be thinking about, looking at, taking care of before you exit out of here.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't happen.
Mm-mm.
And you would think companies of that size, that's a no-brainer.
Right. Yeah.
But it's not.
And that's what I was saying that the education department does. They do those, where you can go in and they lay it all out there for you, what your insurance is going to look like and everything like that. So
yeah, I think that's great, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. I just, and I didn't talk to anybody before I left. Like I didn't do an exit interview. I didn't do any of that stuff. It's one of those things now. You know how everything's become computer.
Yeah.
Everything's on the computer. They send me an email, say, hey, we'll fill this out before you leave.
Yeah.
That's not how it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
An exit interview was in person with your general manager. And I was disappointed that it wasn't that way for me.
Nothing's personable anymore. It is. And that to me is the biggest loss.
Yeah. Can I tell you what my dad used to say? Here today, gone tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And you can use that in almost anything. Use it with my exiting of my job. I was here today, gone tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Nobody said a word.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird how that works.
You're replaceable.
Oh man.
Yeah.
100% easily replaceable.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe that, leave your job and see.
That's right.
I knew a guy a long time ago. I don't know if I've ever talked about this. Now, of course, I won't ever give any names, but he was going through some marriage issues, right? And I think he thought he was not, he couldn't be replaced.
Mm-hmm.
And he missed a lot of work. And they said, hey, you're done. You're gone. And he was dumbfounded because he was in a department where, not a lot of people wanted to get into, which was the safety department.
Mm-hmm.
And anyways, they cut him loose. And he thought he thought there's no way they can replace me. Mm-hmm. I do too much.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's so false.
Yeah.
That is so false. They can replace us every single day with somebody.
There'll be somebody else.
That's right. There's always somebody waiting in the wings. Mm-hmm. But anyways, I just think about that. If anybody's listening or, if you think about it and your kids are at an age where they're starting to work and they're starting to do things on their own, it's time for you to have some conversation with them about that. If nothing else, just like you said a minute ago, kind of plant that little seed.
Mm-hmm.
right? It's a great idea because I just don't, you know, it's something that didn't happen for me,
Right.
but it's something I think about.
Yeah.
Uh, and I'm here to tell you, and I tell some of my buddies this, once you start getting to our age and you start thinking about retirement, you can't stop thinking about it. You know?
I think that's why I don't dwell on it or I don't think about it because I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet.
Well, it's not dwelling on it.
Well, no, it would be for me because it'd be like, oh, you know, retirement. I can't do this with you, and it'd be like, oh, I want to be able to be with you and do this stuff with you, and I can't because I got to work. So I just don't think about it because it's like I'm not to that point yet where I'm not happy. You know, I don't want to say not happy, but I'm still very satisfied in my job.
Oh yeah, yeah, I get that. I get it. But and I've talked to some of my buddies about this. It's like, man, once I started thinking about it, you just can't stop.
Yeah.
And then it just keeps on. And I don't. It does make things more difficult.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
But anyways, what else we have going on? Anything else good?
My daddy's birthday was yesterday.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
would have been 86.
86.
I think we talked about it. Dad would have been 84.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's almost, you know, that seems funny to me. My dad or your dad
Mm-hmm.
in the 80s,
Yeah.
80 something years old,
I know.
84, 86. Wow.
I know if you think about our age, we're already over half, you know? And it's like, oh my gosh, we don't have much longer, you know?
Wow.
But if you think about it,
Well, I wasn't thinking about it until you just pointed it out. Now.
those are the things I think about. It's like, oh wow, I only have like 30 years if I live, you know?
My gosh, I'd rather think about retirement than think about only got a few years left.
Ooh,
Right?
yeah.
I appreciate you pointing that
I
out.
didn't say a few. I said 30.
How?
I'm living till 100, so I profess it all the time.
Yeah, you do. You do. You'll be a hobbit. Yeah. The thing is, yeah, the time is flying. Man, I hit 55. Now I'm fixing to hit 56 this month.
Old man.
Exactly. You know, what's funny is I ask for a senior citizen discount everywhere I go.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't even know what age qualifies for one. But
I don't know.
yeah, I don't either. So
65, 60, I don't know.
I don't have a clue. I just ask.
But nobody ever gives you one.
No.
They just laugh at you.
Yeah, if anything, they make me pay more. But anyways, that's all we got. Hey, we're prepping for our next adventure with the kids coming up here to the beach, and that'll be a good time. Everybody's going to be down there. I mean, we're going to have a house full.
Yeah, there's going to be
9.
9.
Yeah, and it's off and on times. Like,
Yeah,
you know, they all couldn't come all week, so
right.
yeah, it's kind of broke up a little bit. But
Everybody's going to be there at the beginning, and then they'll start tapering off.
yeah,
So
they're adulting now, so
that's
work
right.
gets in the way. But yeah, we're looking forward to that trip. I am.
Yeah,
I know the kids are, so at least they say. So it should be a good time as long as the weather holds out.
that's right.
All righty. Well, we're going to get off here. Unless you got something else you want to tell me.
No.
Tell me how good of a job I'm doing at retirement.
You're like excellent.
I mean, I'm killing it.
You are killing it, not doing a single thing other than mowing and working out.
Oh, whatever. All right. We'll get off here. We appreciate you watching, tuning in, and like, subscribe, drag some friends in to subscribe. We don't care. Do something.
Thumbs up,
Oh, yeah. Give the old thumbs up, thumbs down. Over
thumbs down.
All right. Everybody have a great week, and we'll see you on the next goat round. Peace out.
Toodles.